You opened the app this morning, looked at the goal you set 90 days ago, felt nothing, and closed it. The timeline expired. You probably told yourself you lost discipline, that you got soft, that you need to lock in. But you cannot hype your way out of a biological lockdown. And here is the part nobody names. Your ambition did not just fade, it was deleted. For 3 months, your nervous system ran a silent audit and flagged your goal as a metabolic threat. This is not laziness. It is a forced hardware lockout. But once you expose the 3 glitches running this shutdown, staying stuck becomes structurally impossible. Your brain installed 3 specific glitches on your initiation pathway. Glitch 1 is the Mimicry Trap, why your brain refuses to fund borrowed desires. Glitch 2 is Dopamine Wave Collapse, why trying to get in the zone destroys your focus. That distinction matters more than it sounds. Glitch 3 is Anticipatory Substitution, why planning feels like execution, putting the system to sleep. And at the end, one final bonus protocol, a chemical hard reset that flips the board completely. But you cannot bypass a glitch you cannot see. And the first one is running in your background right now. Glitch 1 is the Mimicry Trap, why your brain refuses to fund borrowed desires. If your goal is a copy, an aesthetic built to impress the internet, your brain registered it as approval-sourced labor. Your brain is a flawless lie detector. It does not get fooled. Grinding for an invisible audience makes the nervous system refuse to release the dopamine required to move. It shuts the operation down. This is where it gets precise. You cannot beat a borrowed desire with willpower. You must starve it. The fix is a hard system purge. Tonight, run a target assassination. Find the goal you talk about most, but execute on least. Select it, delete it. Tell your brain that timeline is dead. Killing that synthetic quest instantly restores the bandwidth to fund a real one. But restoring that bandwidth means absolutely nothing if your daily execution routine is actively burning the motherboard. Glitch 2 is Dopamine Wave Collapse, why trying to get in the zone destroys your focus. Look at what you actually do before trying to work. You blast a playlist, doom scroll, just to get in the zone. And here is what that actually does. You are spiking your brain so high with cheap digital inputs that actual work registers as biological punishment. Every artificial high makes the baseline work afterward feel twice as heavy. That distinction matters more than it sounds. This is Dopamine Wave Collapse, and you cannot push through a dopamine crash. Tonight, run a sensory flatline. Sit at your desk and stare at a blank wall in complete silence for 120 seconds. Let the boredom become physically agonizing. You are intentionally starving your brain. So the friction of the screen becomes the most stimulating thing in the room. If this is shifting how you see your mind, subscribe. This is where we architect the mind. But once you sit down in that silence, you are immediately vulnerable to the deadliest trap in the system, the one that triggers when you actually think you are winning. Glitch 3 is Anticipatory Substitution, why planning feels like execution, putting the system to sleep. You spend 3 hours researching, optimizing, building the perfect schedule, and it genuinely feels like progress. But your brain just played you. When you build the perfect plan, the brain releases reward chemicals early. You get the biochemical high of finishing before you even start. And here is the part nobody names. The biological urgency to actually execute completely dies, like your body already checked the box. This is Anticipatory Substitution. To kill it, deny your brain a clean starting line. Tonight, run a midpoint insertion. Do not start at step 1. Open the project at step 4 and intentionally make a mess. Write one terrible sentence. Break the formatting. Leave an open loop. By creating immediate chaos, you deny the fake reward and trigger a biological compulsion to fix the mess instead. If these 3 glitches have been running for months, your brain is not just inefficient, it is frozen. A locked mind rejects new routines the way a crashed phone rejects a new app. This is where it gets precise. Cold water exposure triggers thermal activation priming, a massive spike in brain activity without draining your depleted reserves. One final bonus protocol, a chemical hard reset that flips the board completely. Tonight, end your shower with 60 seconds of pure cold. Step out and immediately execute the one task you have been avoiding. That physical shock forces your system open for exactly 2 hours. Use the first 2 minutes to take action. You were not failing. You were running the only program the corrupted data allowed. But something shifts when tomorrow comes. What happens when 2 hours go by? Screen open, list right there. and your body refuses to move. When your brain throws a hardware lock on your initiation pathway, that is the metabolic cost trap. And here is the part nobody names. The exact protocol to break it is in the next video. Click here to run the override. The self-architect. Decode the mind. Design the life.